Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I would like to show you a little bit about the Node-RED node updates that we just delivered. And in here you can see one of my Cake-RED instance, but the following things I'm going to show you are valid for all kinds of Node-RED. So go into your palette and then install and then search for Datacake. You can find the two above here, which is Node-RED contrib Datacake, Node-RED contrib Datacake helpers, are officially from Datacake. And this one here, 3 days ago, is the latest update through the helper nodes I'm going to talk about today. In this flow, you can already see I experimented with a couple of nodes, but let's go ahead and talk about these different kind of nodes. We have, for example, the device node. This one fetches information from a specific device. Let me show you how this works. All nodes need a configuration where you basically enter workspace ID and token, and then you can basically access any of those devices. Trigger it, and then you can see all the data coming from the actual device. We also have a quite helpful node, which is the product stats. Instead of selecting a device, you select an entire product and the fields you want to have. And then basically when triggering this, it forwards or fetches all devices belonging to that product and then basically creates some KPI stats like average temperature, average humidity, or whatever kind of field you selected on the product to be fetched. We also have a node that's called Fleet Health. This one basically gives you just some information about the status of the devices in your workspace. Right now, in this workspace, for example, we have 106 devices, 65 online, the online percentage, but also battery and signal to noise ratio based on the semantics that we have. Next is the Datacake history, and this allows you to select a single device, one or multiple fields, and then basically the data, the historical data time range that you want to fetch. Last 7 days with a resolution of 1 day. Let's go ahead, trigger this node once more, and we can see the history data for this actual device, both in a raw string, but then also parsed as objects. So each data point represents an object in here. Be careful with long time ranges and raw resolution. If you do that, please always use the recommendations that we put in here. Last but not least, we also have a new node which is about consumption. So this is basically fetching historical data, but then for counters, so like energy, water, whatever kind of counters. And then we have a downlink node, and this is something that I really love a lot. So you can basically select the workspace, and then you can basically select one or multiple devices, and then the downlink that needs to be triggered. And if you trigger it, it will send a downlink. So this can be used to create a couple of automation scenarios directly in Cake-RED or any Node-RED. One of the things that I also wanted to show you is you also have nodes for Datacake AI and Datacake LNS. Datacake LNS basically right now is you can put in the thing stack configuration and a gateway ID, and then it basically just pulls data from the gateways. Reason for that is you can use this to build a gateway monitoring, for example. But then we also have Datacake AI, and Datacake AI is a node where you need to provide your OpenAI API key. If you don't have one, reach out to us. We can help you with that. But basically, once you've done this, you can define the model. We work with the latest models because they are best, fast, and also cheapest. We, for example, work with the GPT-5 Mini right now, and then you can have a prompt source, which is either from the message ingested or from the configuration. We have some templates here like CSV analysis or Markdown report, which basically creates a text-based Markdown report. Let's click on that one here, just leave everything like it is. Tools is something where it gets really interesting. So for example, in here you have the code interpreter. If you enable this, the AI, so the new models, will run code in their sandboxed environment to analyze your IoT or your sensor data, and it will return real results. So instead of you need to take care on code execution or analytics, the AI does it. And this is really a major change because previously you were the one that needed to run the code, but now the model is actually able to run the code for you, which gives really extreme precise results. It also has the feature to for web searches. You can use that, for example, if you create a report for your customers, you could use web search to get some latest figures on thresholds or whatever. Maximum output tokens, use this to balance between costs and the report. Click on done, click on deploy. But first of all, let's add, for example, the product stats in here, and then also the debug node. Remember the product stats were basically giving us lots of information on KPIs on all of these devices. So let's see. We can also click on the full message object in here. And then let's do another quick one just to get the message context. Let's click on deploy. And then basically all we need to do is trigger this chain in here. It fetches the data right now. Once the data has been fetched, it forwards all of the data into the Datacake AI. You can see this is the sensor, temperature, KPIs, stuff like that. And the AI is now actually waiting for OpenAI to get back. Okay, it took quite a long time, like 4 minutes, until the AI completed its whole report. But that's basically because once we ingest the data and the prompt, the AI, or the model in this case, starts to write code to analyze all of the fleet and product stat information. And then it basically gets back all of these information, so from running the code inside of its model or its sandbox, and then it basically starts writing this report. Now, so let's take a look at the report. By the way, we also see the cost. So this was quite inexpensive. It costed 4 cents to create this report. Keep that in mind. But if you want to send the same to hundreds of your customers, that works quite well. Basically, it gives you a summary, some issues, like one of the device reports a temperature of -5, which is likely a sensor fault. Yes, this is a sensor fault. I know that particular device, so works really great. Some humidity readings are extremely high. A few zero values suggest sensor or reporting errors. And then you can basically see some more information. In the whole object, we also have the OpenAI output, like the usage and the costs, the model, and the full response, for example, but then also the payload. You could now go ahead, use this information and send it via some email notes from Node-RED directly into your customer's inbox, or use some things like Telegram bots, stuff like that. And there will be probably a feature to use your own email white label links in the future. But for now, that's the basic demo of the new Datacake nodes. You can test them out for free on your Node-RED, on FlowFuse or CakeRed or whatever kind of Node-RED. And they're open source. And if you have an idea of a node that we could develop, then please go ahead, let us know. We are super quickly with developing new nodes. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.